I'm here with Shawn Oblen down here at Riverhead Raceway, and he's a part of our monster truck division tonight. How are you today, Shawn?
I'm doing well. How are yourself?
I'm doing all right. So I got a few questions for you.
Absolutely.
First, would you be able to tell me what it's like driving a monster truck?
It's violent at times. We're strapped into our containment seat that fits us, Hans device, 5-point harness, and we're part of the truck at that point. And some of the landings are soft and some sting. And it's built pretty much for our bodies. If we gain weight or lose weight, you don't necessarily fit in the seat safely. If it cups us around so we sit in the shell, or with the head restraints and the Hans device and the 5-point, we're part of the truck at that point.
So you'd be pretty safe if something were to happen. Could you tell me if you've ever been in an accident or anything that you've been nervous about?
Well, if you any motorsports, period, but if you drive monster trucks, you better be prepared to roll over. It's just part of the nature of the course, and yes, you're strapped in extremely tight. All the safety precautions are taken. You're on your roof, you're on your side, you're on the tailgate on a wheelie. Sometimes you save it, sometimes you don't. But you should be ready to go for any moment that happens quickly.
Could you tell me about the scariest accident you've ever been in?
So far, I've been pretty fortunate with things. Been rolled over numerous times and everything. Scariest? I don't really have a specific moment that was any worse than any other, thankfully.
Okay, that's good then.
Yes,
that's really good.
We don't want to change that tonight. We want to.
No, let's hope we don't.
Yes.
So how did you get your start in your monster truck?
So 3, 4, or 5 years ago, we got started with that truck over there that does the monster truck rides on my farm back in New Jersey. We were just tired of doing hay rides and we wanted something different. And here we are 20-something years later. We run 5 trucks. We do the car crushing tour and the monster truck rides, and we have the other trucks back home on the farm.
Now, do you have anybody as far as influences, anybody that you look up to as far as in the monster truck division?
Well, we all were kids at one point, and that's kind of where all this starts, and it only gets bigger as time goes on. Lucky to be in the field that I'm in now at this level, but we always looked up to, when we were younger, guys like Dennis Anderson with Gravedigger and Tom Mentz with Max Destruction and all the big name guys that are still in it today, still driving, but they were, you'd watch them and get a wow moment, or man, I'd love to do that one day. And, here we are today, and there's been shows where I've driven with those guys, and it's just wow, it's crazy.
So now I'm sure driving something this massive would be very, mentally challenging. How do you get over your own fear of just the possibility of getting into an accident, and how do you, not doubt yourself that something might happen?
So it was explained to me by one of the guys I had just mentioned at a show many years ago, and even today he says that if you get in the truck comfortable and you have no fear or respect, you shouldn't get in the truck. You should have that moment. Even driving 20, 30 years later, you should still have that little butterfly feeling. You should still feel intimidated a little bit, confident, but not over scared or over anxious. And every time we strap in, there's not a time that's any different than the other. We get the butterflies and the uncertainty, what's going to happen in the next 2 minutes, because it's over in 2 to 3 minutes, and it goes by so fast. Some days are better than others. But yeah, once we get in the seat and the helmet goes on and the neck restraint goes on and the Hans and everything, and start clicking the belts down, you start to get your last couple good breaths before the belts go real tight, and then you start to get the zone going of what you're looking at out there and what the other guy before you just did, how the cars are being kicked around, how should I hit things on certain angles, all that comes into play. Unfortunately, once the green light is to go, that all leaves your head. And there's things that I've planned out that I wanted to do and never happened because I just made a wrong turn, or I was lined up for something differently, or the truck broke early. So many factors.
Could you tell me how you came up with your name for your monster truck?
So it's really not that fascinating, I'll be honest with you. We had other names throughout the years, and we wanted something totally different. My son was into the whole zombie thing. My daughter likes the zombie thing, and my graphics guy came up with, he's crazy about coming up with different ideas, and he actually came up with the theme and the sketch, and I was like, yeah, that'll look it'll flow nice on the truck. It's colorful, different nice colors and stuff. I said, let's try it. And this is probably our 4th year with running this body, and it seems to work.
Okay. Glad you found something that works for you, because not everybody does.
They don't.
Could you tell me a little bit about what the fan reaction means to you no matter where you go?
I love the fans. I mean, that's the number one drive for what we do. And that should be the drive for any motorsports. The day that you don't appreciate the fans who just spent a lot of money to come see you sweat like today, that's the day you really should think about what you're doing and maybe not do it anymore. I love the kids when they come up, the smiles. I mean, like I said earlier, we were all that kid at one time, looking up to somebody. And now it comes back to us. And the smiles, the pictures, sometimes the criticism, well, why didn't you do this and why didn't you do that? And I want to say, well, you're not driving this thing, so you have no idea. But I'm like, yeah, I'll get it next time, buddy. The fans mean everything to us.